Lloydie.
And Levi Greenwood, I'm not sure what role he plays in the forward line either. I think he's your grunt player that should be in the midfield. But anyway, 4 marks inside 50 for 4 goals, the Bombers. The Magpies, apart from their one with Elliott over the top, they haven't looked like scoring. So I think the Bombers had a great quarter and played the conditions better.
I reckon they actually had 20 on the ground. Shade just sprinted off as well. Second quarter for RACV Business Insurance. The Pies to the punt road end, but Essendon with the first clearance through Zach Merritt to the city end. High kick to centre half forward. No marks taken. Francis tries to grab it. He's opposite number 10 in Pendlebury. Grabs him. And umpire Cameron says he'll throw it up. 52 out from the Bomber goal. Thrown in the air quickly. Grundy and Leuenberger with a bit of a wrestle. Now the umpire got in the way of Steele side bottom. Wells tries to crash through. Scoops it up. Handballs to Greenwood. Handball to Ramsey. Right half back. Kicks to the long lead of Elliott. Skids away from that player and rolls out of bounds. About 85 metres around from the Magpies goal as the sun, weakly it must be said, just breaks through and just bathes a few patrons in the great southern stand.
They've made the move you wanted, Shorey. Goldsack has now gone to Joe Danaher.
From the ball in, clearance essential here. Ball rolls past Kelly, but Collingwood at least got the clearance. Kelly gets it after the slick handball, kicks it back outside defensive 50, but it's central, and Varco got there. Centre half forward, Mason Cox playing full forward, ignored, short to Elliott, and he's within range. He's going to kick from about 47, directly out.
Bad kick by James Kelly. He just had to get the ball wide to the wing, and he shanked it off the outside of his foot, and that allowed Zavarco to kick the ball. It needs to score here. Normally a beautiful kick, Jamie Elliott.
Oh dear. Put the moz on him there.
No, I've got full faith in this one.
Magpies are the worst at kicking for goal, 38.7% from their scores this
year.
You'll
put the moz on then.
No, that just gives him a chance.
Elliott's their only goal scorer so far. Gets under it, but it looks straight. Hasn't got the distance. He just gets there. So he's got all their goals right now. Jamie Elliott, 2-2, Collingwood 14, Essendon 4-3-27. Early stages second term brought to you by RACV Business Insurance. Call 13 RACV for your business insurance needs. Tony Shaw and Matthew Elliott on Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah, Matthew
Elliott. I am a handy cricketer too.
I've seen you in action. Pretty good, Lloydie.
Taking over the Australian under-19s.
Yeah, that's right. But what an important player Jamie Elliott is. Mark Bagley's got the match up. All the Essendon defenders got around him, said keep it going. He's still on him at the moment, but great response there. They need that first goal, the Magpies, which they just got.
Expert analysis from Jamie Lloyd on 3RW Footy. Matthew Nichols throws the football in the air. Great tap by Grundy. Straight to Wells, dispossessed by Goddard. Bombers soccer it forward, but Ben Reid takes the saving mark. Immediately transfers player to this member stand side. And young Phillips, who was missed badly last week, played a slashing game against the Swans, takes the mark, kicks down the line to the lead of Cox. Thumped away by Mitch Brown. And Greenwood didn't keep it in the field of play, so there'll be a boundary throw in right in the middle of the interchange gates, just below our commentary position, and not too far away from Dr. Peter Larkins.
What do you got, Doc?
Yeah, it was interesting because it was both Moore and Shady. They did have 20 on the ground, so that was a real no one looking at the board, I guess. They've sorted it out.
That was a bit weird. Wells gets a kick decisively too. Hoskinley tries the punch on, but got it straight down to Kelly. He feeds his handle wide, it rolls out, but there were players there. It won't be deliberate. We'll get a ball in 60 from Collingwood's goal.
Found this matchup interesting. Hurley's picking up for Solo. He did it the whole first quarter.
Yeah, speed
too,
doesn't matter.
Second quarter too, but I'd love to see Hurley on Cox to see if he could start working off him.
Two ruckman tie up, ball to the back. Phillips gets it, caught, dropped it. Zaharakis knocks it out. Wells gets another chance, bounce past, nice. To Pendlebury. Centering kick, sits it on Elliott's head. He's still a chance. They all fly. No one can mark it. Big Mason Cox. He bends it around and kicks a ripper.
Well, he's a rover.
That is amazing. They're going to check to see if it was touched. And the umpire, what did they call it? A goal? Here, let's have a listen.
Umpire's call is touched off the boot.
Okay, umpire's call is touched. So unless there's definitive evidence to overturn it, it won't be one of Mason Cox's great goals.
Tell you what, that is a goal.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, no fingers going back on the Yarra Valley Toyota replay.
In the players' con.
The first set of fingers is there. Then do we have to watch it on its trajectory past Ambrose?
Well, how can the goal umpire think it's touched from that distance?
Only changed by the reaction of the players.
Michael Hurley tried to.
Yeah, but the stupid part is It's touched. Gee, how can they? That is bizarre.
They've got to go with the umpy's call.
So the point stands. Michael Hurley takes the quick kick in. It's off hands. Treloar almost throws it back to Phillips. Loses possession. It rolls out of bounds. 60 around.
I tell you what, I hope they show a really good close-up on the scoreboard for the Collingwood fans to see that they were robbed there, because that'd be huge.
Should they warn them just to clear their throats just before they show it? From the restart, Wells shovels out a handball to Grundy. Speculative handball inside forward 50. Players dive on the footy. Umpire Nichols lets it go. Now there's the whistle.
You're not allowed to show replays that will upset the crowd anymore, though, are you?
Oh, well.
It's only FIFA, isn't it?
Don't get me started. He'll throw it up right on the paint.
Was that our first St Kilda reference?
Didn't mention St Kilda. Zach Merritt's got the football. Handball a bit fierce for Zaharakis. Treloar was trying to search for it in the grass. Again it stacks on the mill. Again the umpire lets it go. Phillips was tackling Zaharakis. He didn't have the football, but umpire Nichols couldn't see that on that occasion. More work for him to do. He'll throw it up. 52 out.
I'm a bit against that one with Fasolo and Hurley, Lloydie. I reckon Brown, they're not worried about Mason Cox marking the ball in the air. He did it at ground level, so just let it go, and Fasolo's more dangerous.
Wells tried to get away from Danaher, got a handball away, but it was outside the boundary, so Danaher did well.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm with you, Tony Shaw.
Wells has stepped it up, boys. He's had 4 disposals. Leads all comers in this second quarter on this other Star Group stats.
You're not counting that one, are you?
No, that wasn't counted.
Okay, good. Ball back into play. Grundy and Leuenberger. Leuenberger knocks it down. Wells, you're not counting that one either, are you?
No.
A 1 metre handball in between everybody's legs.
No.
And a mad scramble. Phillips, count that one. Wells got it up to Treloar. He dance-stepped a couple. Got a kick away. Inside 50. Elliott stalking it. Couldn't get there. Cox tried to get the crumb. Couldn't quite. McGrath, slick hands. Bagley, slick hands. Kelly couldn't handle it. Greenwood off the deck. Maybe a goal. Adams tried to get it through.
They're under the pump. The Pies are really pressing them early in this quarter.
I don't think the Bombers have been inside 50 this quarter, which is now 7 minutes old this second quarter, and a good kick in twice, Pod. 16 plays 27 twice. Okay, so I'm two-time line.
Well, Watson turns it over from centre half back, kicks it straight to Goldsack at centre wing. Handball to Howe. His intended handball for Shade missed the target, but head high. Ramsey was caught high by Fantasia. Some ironical cheers there. Free kick count for the Southern Star Group half.
I'm going to get that for you very quickly.
It's not how many, it's where you get them, but
so true, Dwayne. As they go wide to Ben Reid, he showed too much of it to Zaharakis, was trying to kick it to Phillips. Phillips recovered best. Handball to Crisp. Usually a lovely long kick. That's no exception. Cox was on a long lead through his hands. McGrath at the back. He misses the intended target in Hurley, who gets into a bit of a push and shove and discussion with Taylor Adams.
5-4 Beaver. The free kick's in favour of the Magpies.
And is it just me, or is for
the
last
Bombers.
5 minutes football's just been played in this 30-metre quadrant?
And it suits Collingwood because the Bombers are getting no uncontested marks. They've only had one in 7 minutes of footy.
got up to Merritt. Short. Parrish couldn't quite reach it. Howe takes the mark, goes inside. Horrible kick, but it might bounce nicely for Grundy. Well, we're not sure he really wanted to bend down and get that one. Ramsey did. Handball missed the target. Parrish waiting for it. Watson ignored him. Goes inside looking for Stanton. Beaten for it by side bottom. Got his way around a couple. Little 1-2 at Ramsey. Side bottom. Bangs it long. Over Elliott's head. Cox gets back. Elliott gets back. Then he marked it. Brown can't rush it from there. Gave it to Kelly. Last line of defence goes inside to Zaharakis. And they should get away with it here, the Bombers. Long kick to Orazio. He's on the wing and he takes the mark.
Yeah. Oh, that's nearly 50. He marked the ball, got dragged to the ground, but no.
Side bottom wasn't really in the contest, sure he was he, but he got away with it. Kicks to a one-on-one. Ramsey thumps it away from McDonald, Tip and Woody, and it rolls out in front of the umpires race on the southern stand centre wing, or just slightly forward of that, favouring the end. The Bombers kicking this second term. Still haven't been inside forward 50 half.
I've been inside twice, but at this stage.
See, but we both got that wrong.
Okay. 11 points. You probably answered that before and I wasn't listening.
Okay.
They might go inside again because Parrish has got the footy at 70. Handballs to Fantasia. Closes to 55. Takes a shot at goal and bounces it through for a behind. Missing to the left. 4-4-28 the Bombers. 2-4-16 the Pies. 9 minutes into the second term on the Ray White clock.
That's the third inside 50, Beef. Just checking.
Thank you, Daniel.
And it's just a play like that from Fantasia where I look around and I think Tip and Woody can do it, Fantasia can do it, Merritt. I'm wondering who can break the lines for Collingwood because Treloar's usually the man.
Oh, he kicked in the man on the mark.
So he kicks in at Danaher on the mark. We'll get a ball in forward pocket for the Bombers.
Well, what about Tip and Woody though, Lloydie? He doesn't look like he has a massive impact in the forward line. one of the best rebounding defenders last year. Do they have to bite the bullet sometimes and say, go back there where you play your best footy?
At times, but I think he's been pretty solid this year in the fall. Like he kicked 4 goals, and I think not even last week actually against the Crows.
Well, Grundy heads Danaher out in the ruck contest. The umpire didn't fall for it. Ramsey got a little handball out to Reed. He goes back to side bottom, tucked up against the boundary, couldn't take it out. Wells got a handball inside to Ramsey, dropped it, dragged down by McDonald, Tip and Woody Ball. Holding the ball and he'll have a shot.
He's one of those players, sure.
I know he
doesn't win much ball at times, but what he does, it's a bit like a bit called Rioli, Daniel Rioli.
Can do it, but well,
yeah, they just impact with every disposal.
4 possession, 3 tackles for McDonald, Tip and Woody.
So he's 45 out when he kicks here and tucked up against the boundary. This will be huge. 1 metre in from the boundary, hit it skinny, and doesn't score on the full.
6 for the year. So it's not a massive, but I understand his defensive pressure was fantastic, especially on that occasion.
2-4 plays 4-4. Bombers lead by 2 goals, 11 gone second.
So the little chip pass in from side bottom finds Maynard. Ordinary kick, bounced in front of Shade, who fumbled. Will he get a kick away? He was given the benefit of the doubt. He must have just got a toe on it. Essendon affect the turnover though. Fantasia, handball to Watson. Heard the voice of Collier. Handball in that direction. He gets around Reed, but the yellow Sharon won't stay in. It's skidded away from him and rolled out of bounds 15 metres around from the Bombers' goal. City end of the stadium. Bombers by 12 points. Collingwood the only goal of the quarter. That came from Jamie Elliott, and the second term's now 11 and a half minutes old. Watson's got it. Handball to Fantasia. Quick snap to goal. Fantasia's got his second. He's got 12 for the season. He's leading the Bombers goal kicking, and that's a vital one there. 18-point buffer now for the Red and Blacks. 5-4-34. Collingwood 2-4-16. RACB Business Insurance scoreboard as the Ray White clock stops with 12:58 remaining until half-time.
I can't wait to watch the Yarra Valley Toyota replay on that one. How he had that much room. Fantasia, he's the most dangerous forward on the ground. He kicked 40 goals or whatever it was last year, and he's the leading goal kicker for Essendon this year. Watson's just given it out the back to him, so I want to see who it is, who had to be on him there.
He hasn't got one.
See here.
He never had an opponent.
Yep, no opponent. You're right, Shorey. No opponent there.
You've got to love zoning, don't you? From the ball up, Parrish nearly broke away with it. Ball flicked back towards Adams. He jumped on it, so they jump on him. Had to get it out. Parrish got it up to Treloar. Treloar to side bottom, but they're going backwards to go forward. Zaharakis got there just in time. Missed his handball target. Here's a chance for Wells. Gets it on the wing. Handball smothered by Kelly. The ageless Kelly does well. Lays a good tackle as well. Ball to McDonald, Tip and Woody. Couldn't handle it. Back to Heppel. Back towards Hoskin Elliott of Collingwood. He gave it to Treloar, who threw it. Umpire didn't fall for the crowd. And his short pass finds Crisp about 90 from Collingwood's goal.
Crisp on in that lovely long left boot, kicks into the left forward pocket, gets over the head of Moore, gets over the head of Fasolo and Hurley. Did Fasolo get into Hurley's back? He did, says umpire Nichols. And Hurley to take a free kick.
He could have legitimately rushed that Hurley, but didn't want to.
Well, the confusion with the players about the adjudication of that rule remains, Dwayne, as Hurley goes very short to Bagley in the right back pocket. 5-4 plays 2-4. Bagley to go long and strong towards right half back.
And Francis stalking it. Big leap. Good mark.
Good leap.
You can hear the applause for the Bomber. He goes wide. Leuenberger and Grundy both tie up. Both got a palm on it. Knocked down central. Wells gets there. Got his arms free. Flicked it to Ramsey on the wing. Goes to side bottom on the wing. He spears a wobbler towards half forward, and Merritt takes the mark and almost gets 50.
It should have been.
And they get away with it. Merritt's got it at half back for the Bombers.
Dabs a little one to Zaharakis. Can't play on as Crisp closed quickly. Just defensive side of centre wing. He's called to play on now. Doesn't like anything that's ahead of him. So retreats all the way to Bagley inside defensive 50. They now head out the southern stand side. Mark taken there by Mitch Brown on his chest before Greenwood can arrive. Now he kicks long down the line, and in the van there is Collier, who's got it just short of half forward. He wheels around, low ball into the forward pocket. Danner! Strong hands with the greasy football, and that was travelling at some velocity. That was a good grab. He's hemmed in on the boundary line, non-preferred side for the left footer. about 30 out, Lloydie. It looks like he's going to go the left banana as opposed to the right snap.
Yeah, it's sort of that type of range where it's a trick. Yeah, you're right, Beav, going the banana this time.
And it is hard to kick a wet banana. And that theory stays true. It's across the face. Didn't swing back, Dwayno. Minor score 5-5-35, the Bombers. 2-4-16, the Pies.
It sounds a bit strange, but it is hard to get the bend on the ball with a slippery ball.
1 goal 3 for Danaher.
Oh, yeah, he's gone over the line.
Gone over the line with a kick in. So it'll come back to be a ball up at the top of the square. So a huge mistake there. The Bombers.
Well, you cannot put your foot on the line, and he has. He's put it right on the Toyota Yarra Valley Toyota replay.
Maynard was, so we'll get a ball up top of the goal square for the Bombers. Umpire signaling who's the ruck. Cox, Danaher, both fly, stays in the field of play, and kicked off the deck in the end by Shade, and he gets through for a behind. So it'll be Goldsack this time. Maynard's been sacked from the kick in. 2-4 plays 5-6. Essendon lead. 16 gone on the Ray White clock. They've got the know-how. Second quarter.
Just got to get some distance on these.
But again, their inability. 2 goals they've kicked in 45 minutes of football. It puts enormous pressure on you because the Bombers are coming hard here.
Goldsack went long and strong, and there's going to be a free kick. Is it against?
Heppel for a throw, yep.
Okay. So side bottom, the recipient. He was lucky not to be outmarked before that free kick by Stanton, playing from behind and electing to try and mark. He dabs a little one to Maynard, who has got a big left boot. Long down the line, Cox takes the mark. Running for him's Taylor Adams, the vice-captain, kicks on his non-preferred left. It's an ugly, awkward thing into the pocket for Solo, runs out of room and takes it over the boundary line. That can't be deliberate after the Dylan Grimes non-decision last night. So we'll have a throw in. 5-6-36 Essendon, 2-4-16 the Magpies. 16 and a half into the second quarter.
Back into play, Mason Cox. Beaten for it by Danaher, who got it down too early. Kick half smothered. Picked up by side bottom. It's coming back. Looks pretty good. Is it come back enough? It has.
Great goal.
Pancake parlour goal of the afternoon contender.
Lovely. He's been one of the ones that's really stepped up in this quarter for the Magpie Steel side bottom. He's had 9 possessions, 6 kicks, 3 handballs, 3 contested, and now a goal for the Magpies to get them back in the hunt.
Daniel Harford for the Southern Star Group. Check them out at windowsanddoors.build. 3-4-22 Collingwood. Essendon 5-6-36. 17 minutes gone in this second term, brought to us by RACV Business Insurance.
He loved these conditions, still side bottom. He's classy at any time, but blokes that can kick left foot, right foot. He does keep his feet at the contest, and that was from about 45 out, so it was a good snap off one step on his right foot, so fantastic conversion.
2-2 to 1-3 in this second term in favour of the Woods. Cox wins the tap. Wells crashes in front on to McDonald, Tip and Woody. Plants the call. Bombers have got it through Kelly. Hammers it towards centre half forward. Hooker created a big contest against 2 Magpies. And eventually there'll be a throw up, says umpire Margetts. Josh Green had a big piece of Goldsack who had the footy trapped underneath him. So it'll be thrown up 48 out from the Essendon goal. 1 down by Leuenberger. Doesn't clear the area though. Treloar with a handball to Reid. Look away, handball was intercepted by Heppel. Back to Watson. Might be on a push from Treloar. Grabbed now by Zach Merritt. Ball to boot very quickly. Almost to full forward. Shade mops up. Handballs to Phillips. And the Pies will get out of trouble momentarily.
It's wide. Not a lot of options on. No free to Greenwood. Ball out of play. We'll get a ball in. 55 from Essendon's goal.
I think those matchups in defence, Lordy, are a little bit better. I think they're, just give away the Cox thing. Think you're not going to mark the ball. And what Essendon done with Collingwood's done with Goldsack is exactly the same down the other end.
Leuenberger to Merritt from the ball in. He kicks inside 50. Collingwood have the numbers. Goldsack had a piece of it, lost it. Green had a piece of it, lost it. Francis got it on towards Heppel. He couldn't make something of it. Fantasia, 30 from goal. Drag down, gang tackle, ball up. So 36 plays 22. We've got 8.5 minutes left on the Ray White clock in this second term. Here's Bruce Eva on 3AW football.
Umpire Nichols throws it in the air. Leuenberger easily outpoints Cox, but taps it straight to Treloar. Well tackled by Heppel, and he's rewarded. Treloar sort of ducked back into trouble, trying to come back into the centre corridor. The tackle from Heppel spilt the ball free, and the Essendon captain will shoot for goal from about 35 out, maybe 40 metres on a 45-degree angle.
They've done some homework on Treloar. He's had 12 possessions, 10 of those are handballs, and for a guy who averages 477 metres gained per game, he's had 49 to this point.
Hasn't been a big goal kicker in his exciting career, just 36 majors in 110 games, but you can add another one to it. Lovely conversion, and a big goal from the skipper pushes the Bombers out to a 20-point break. 6-6-42 to 3-4-22 on the RACV Business Insurance scoreboard. Here's Matthew Lloyd, but firstly Tony Shaw on 3 out of his 6BR footy.
Gee, that's an amazing stat, isn't it? 12 possessions, 2 kicks, 10 handballs, 49 metres gained. So that means it's all been under pressure. But even a Scotty Pendlebury today, they put the pressure on there. 7 possessions, 110 metres gained, which means they have had no impact on this game at all.
And I feel like Essendon, it's inside 50s are the same, but they're just controlling this game. I thought Carlton controlled the territory of Essendon 2 weeks ago. Essendon looked like scoring a lot of the time. Collingwood, it's just hard work, everything they're doing.
There's no flow.
No.
Pull up in the middle. Pendlebury tries to break out. Got a handball out, but into the congestion. Almost ball. Watson stole it. Puts the Bombers to half forward. All the Collingwood players took off, thinking they've won the clearance. Fantasia's got it. Sends a wobbler to the pocket.
Shanked it.
Hooker can't get there to take the mark. He tried to go off the deck. Didn't quite work. Collingwood get players back now. Good tackle laid. Still a chance to get out of trouble. Short to side bottom. Can't take the mark. Kelly got all Sheeran. Knocked it to ground. 50 from the Bombers goal. He dives in. They dive on him. And we'll get a ball up.
Lucky.
What's Darcy Moore's numbers this quarter, if you can, please? Daniel Harford.
We'll get that for you, Dwayne.
Might be 0, I think.
Can't imagine it's too many. It's 0, 0 and 0.
22 minutes of 0.
Faz as well.
Fasolo, Broomhead and Darcy Moore yet to get involved.
Going to be a long quarter, still 7.25 minutes of actual playing time.
Playing with 14 men in essence.
But the other thing too, they're resting Grundy up in the forward line. You know, other than Mason Cox doing it at ground level on one occasion, they haven't looked like marking the ball.
And he's been one of their link-up players for the whole season so far.
On ball.
From the throw-up, we'll have a throw-in. Right half forward for the Bombers. They could be out of sight by half-time with this domination at the moment. As Sidebottom has the ball held to him by Stanton, and umpire Nichols will throw it up. 47 out from the Essendon goal, which is the City end in this second term. 42 plays 22. It goes skyward again. Cox wins the tap, but Josh Green gets there first. Does well under pressure from Crisp to get a kick forward. Oh, Fantasia met front on. Big bump from Wells. Grabbed there by Sidebottom. Look away, handball to Ben Reid. Handball to Howe. Kicks it long and strong out of the area.
Barco takes the mark for Collingwood. Again, not a lot to go to. He looked up. There wasn't much on. 6-6 to 3-4. Bombers lead by 20, 40. 8 minutes and 40 left in the quarter. Long kick towards Grundy at half forward. Can't take the mark. Dumped away from him. Hits the deck. Broomhead almost got there but left it behind. Beaten for it by the first gamer in the end, McNeese. Still on the wing. Picked up in the end by Varco. Got it inside to Jeremy Howe. He goes to side bottom.
Too much handball.
He flicked it wide. Sure, he's spot on. Brown cuts it off for the Bombers. Oscar Elliott, great pickup on the move. 60 out, goes to Moore. Speak of the devil, done nothing. Drops the mark, drops an easy mark. Goal square, and for Solo, he's kicked a goal.
Looks like a review, I think.
Well, they had a chance to rush it through, but Hurley didn't know if he could rush it or not.
And Hurley's not arguing the point either.
No, that's a goal.
Clear goal.
Review underway.
Well, Hurley was allowed to rush it through in that instance. He wasn't wise enough.
He probably would have been concerned about taking out Fasolo's legs too, just looking at the replay.
Completed.
He would have dived on that, taken out Fasolo's legs.
Good point. The goal stands. So 4-4 plays 6-6. Bombers lead. Here's Tony Shaw, 3AW football.
I tell you what, I reckon the Bombers might be a bit worried at the moment, and I agree with Lloyd. In total play, they've been dominant, but sooner or later the Pies, if they get their balance right, I'd be looking at playing only the ruckman on the ground and going smaller in their forward line. Just hasn't worked. You got more down there. You don't need another tall forward. Cox is down there again now, but maybe just swap that around for longer periods. But they're going to have their time. Their midfield haven't been involved in this game much, and you know they've got the class of Sidebottom. He's been good. Pendlebury and others who really can get off them leash. So they haven't made the most of this, Essendon.
Poachers finished by Fasolo. Clever kick by Taylor Adams leading up to it. Can they get some momentum going, the Pies? They'll get a clearance. Wells with a handball to Pendlebury. Kicks on his non-preferred right to right half forward. And Zaharakis, is it really 8 years since he kicked that match-winning goal? Takes the sliding mark. Time goes very quickly. Kicks out towards centre wing. Goldsack punches it away from Watson and then butters up and wins the football. Handballs to Hoskin Elliott, who dared to take a bounce and then delivered it lace out to Adams, who's marked on a tight angle. This would take his very best kick for a right footer. Man on the mark stands at about 40. Non-preferred side for the right footer and only a metre or two in from the chalk.
It's been their best couple of minutes of footy because they've broken out into space and quick forward entries, which suits their small forward line.
Had 36 touches on Anzac Day last year, and they need him to have another big afternoon today. The drop punt, pretty good connection, just a little narrow at the end, and a minor score, but they creep closer now, the Pies. 13 points the difference. Collingwood 4-5-29, Essendon 6-6-42. RACB Business Insurance scoreboard.
So the margin was 19 at quarter time. So Collingwood winning the quarter. Danaher comes down to half back. Sidebottom dumps it over the boundary. We'll get a ball in 50 from Collingwood's goal with 5 minutes left in their second term on the Ray White clock. They've got the know-how. Good crowd in. 90-odd thousand here. It's been drizzling. Been some heavy rain patches, but it's okay at the moment. Green gets on the end of the ruck contest, kicks it towards the wing. Big fists go up. McDonald, Kip and Woody knew he was going to be tackled, didn't want to take possession, tried to knock it on and run. Varco almost stole it from him. Green nearly went off the deck. Pendlebury jumps in. He wanted to grab it. Still in the congestion. Treloar got a kick straight into Watson. He flicks the handball to Kelly. He goes inside with the handball. Did well. McNeese goes inside as well. Goddard almost tried to do too much. Goes back towards Watson. He chips the kick midfield. Cut off by Mason Cox. Had the reach. McNeese, Parrish get in each other's way. Still a chance for the Bombers. Kelly picks it up. Kicks it inside 50. Howe. But Collingwood marks at centre half back and saves the day.
And moves
50.
Quick. 50. So it'll come back. He kicked out wider for Solo. The ball will have to come back to Jeremy Howe. Was that a secondary bomber too close to
he came in before the call was play on.
Off Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Yep, from the side. So he's taken to about 10 metres north of the centre circle. And he gets a little shepherd on the mark from Pendlebury, so he runs an extra 5. Howe kicks it right to full forward, off hands. Might have been off Ambrose and Adams' hands. And through for a rush behind. 4-6-30. That's Collingwood. 6-6-42 Essendon. 27 minutes into the second.
They're having their time now, as Lloydie said. They're getting out in the midfield. I just think they're set up in the back line now for Collingwood. Better matchups, better balance.
Got to get one more goal out of it, the Magpies, right now while they've got the momentum. Phillips almost handballed it out to Ramsey. Couldn't get it to him. Crisp got a kick to Ramsey. He flicks it to Treloar. About to send Collingwood inside 50. On his left. Good kick. High kick, up they fly, no mark to Moore, landed like a cat, got away with it, just handballed in time to Broomhead, he got it up just in time, and here's that goal I was talking about. Crisp to line up from 40 to make this a one-kick game in the shadows of half-time.
Yeah, just some of those players around the contest really lifted. I thought Merritt and Heppel and Watson had the advantage early, and now the likes of Crisp, Taylor Adams, Adam Treloar, Pendlebury, some really important touches.
So it's a 2-goal lead right now, and he runs from 40. He sees it drift to the left. 11 points the margin, and there's 3 minutes left in the second quarter. And if the Bombers go in at half-time with a 2-goal lead, I think they'd be pretty happy with that right now.
Hurley kicks to himself, comes cantering out to the Olympic stand side. Kicks it long and strong, no mark taken. Crisp roves the crumbs, handball to Treloar, handball to Ramsey, handball to Jamie Elliott from 49, kicks a poster. It hooked at the last minute, probably the last 10 metres of its journey. And Collingwood, since Essendon led by 20 points a few moments ago, have kicked 1-4. They're now within 10.
And it might be coming back. Sidebottom got there for the kick in, looks inside, he had Greenwood, but he goes wider. Maynard. Outside attacking 50, about to send them inside, goes long. Mason Cox, he's got the reach. Almost off hands. Parrish crumbs it, gave it up just in time. Hurley goes back with the handball. Kelly, nothing to go to, had a bounce, back pocket, goes inside to Parrish. He looks up, nothing to go to. Made it somebody else's problem. Well attacked by Crisp, got it up just in time, but straight back to Kelly. Caught by Grundy, could have been ball. Collingwood fans wanted it. Varco comes up with it, slams it inside 50. Mason Cox, can he get there for the contest? For Solo! Takes the mark, 45 out.
2 years ago, I would have said put your glasses down, boys, but I'm not too sure about this one now.
This is brilliant from Collingwood.
Yeah.
They have just turned the screws on Essendon. James Kelly running out, no options whatsoever. All the kick-ins for Essendon have just been a bit of a rabble, really. They just can't get the ball out.
Hit the wall, Lloydie.
For Solo, this will miss to the left as well. So they should be within a goal. They should be in front, really.
Should be in front.
4-9 to 6-6. Essendon lead. 1 minute 39 left to half time.
15-9 inside 50s this quarter for the Magpies. A lot of those repeat inside 50s too.
9-12 now for the season for the Faz. Hooker kicks to himself, runs 10, 50-metre drop punt to right half back, might be coming back again. Howe with a handball to Treloar, coughed it up to Watson, he coughed it up to Howe, toe poked it back inside forward 50, chance for McGrath, handball to Kelly, he spins out of the Phillips tackle, handball to Parrish, ball to boot quickly, Pendlebury and McDonald tip and Woody slapped it down to Josh Green, kicked it down the line, they're almost out there the Bombers, Ramsey did well, bounced a handball to Reid, kicked for under duress from McDonald tip and Woody, back to left half forward, Fasolo tries to keep it in and does. Crisp, who's had a big few minutes, kicks it on the right foot, wobbles inside forward 50. Did Elliott get a push? Umpire said no. Treloar grabs the crumbs. Right foot snap is a beauty. Pancake parlour goal of the day.
Lovely.
Pies are within 3 points. They've kicked 2-5 to nothing in the last 7 or 8 minutes, probably just in time onto the second. And they're 5-9-39. Collingwood, Essendon are 6-6-42, and that's on the RACB Business Insurance scoreboard.
The last 10 minutes on the Southern Star Group stat sheets, 9-1 inside 50, 16-3 effective kicks, 28-11 uncontested possession. So they're getting the ball in space, as you guys are saying, and having a chance getting the ball inside forward 50.
I think sometimes when you just look at a game, you don't really need to, and not to put you out of a job. The stats, I think we knew the dominance, and you've just put them in the words there, at a total dominance at the moment.
And the other thing Essendon have done is they've put Hooker, loose man in defence. It hasn't worked. He's just had no impact at all over the last 5 minutes.
40 seconds left. Ball up. Pendlebury nearly got away with it. Knocked it away by his hand to Watson. He goes to McDonald, Tip and Woody. He chips inside 50. Fantasia. Oh, this would hurt.
Oh, will it what?
This would hurt massively if Fantasia kicks the goal after the siren from 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Sorry, Dwayne, the clearance has been, because I think that's one area Essendon's been pretty good at, just that quick kick out and giving their forwards an opportunity.
For the quarter, 11-10 in favour of the Bombers, so they're in front marginally, and they had a lead of 6 from the first quarter, so they're +7.
Siren's about to sound for half-time. Fantasia lines up from 45. It's horrible. It's a shocker. It hasn't scored, and Collingwood go in at half-time with the momentum, even if they don't have the lead. Bombers lead at the half, 6-6-42 to 5-9-39, but Collingwood's got to feel pretty good about itself. We're going to take a break. We'll tell you more about it straight after the break. 3RW is football.